This episode is brought to you by Payday Loans for You. 2 million% APR. Ah dear, it's that time of year again. The time of year when everyone goes really weird, and this year I just can't be asked. So I went on holiday to Luton to avoid the entire Christmas period. And it's random lift tour time. It's Christmas Eve and I'm on my way to Luton, and en route I stopped off at South Mim service station. What a crappy service station. There's not a single lift here, and this service station is mainly full of overpriced coffee shops and gambling shops. What a waste of time. But behind this service station, someone's been collecting buses. In fact, quite a large collection of buses. This is someone's hobby that someone has managed to turn into a business called Sullivan Buses. Most of the buses here are 10 years old. Let's take a look at what buses there are here. There's some AOX 400s, Millenniums, pre-Millennium series, Enviro 200s, and some of these ones are actually newer. These ones are only a few years old, and as well as these, there's also some older buses, such as these old Northern Counties, and also there's a very sad looking vintage 1970s Leyland National in very poor condition. It's only being used as a hairdressing bus. And now, continuing on my journey towards Luton, and next I stopped off at Hemel Hempstead. Let's take a look at what lifts there are here. First, into the shopping centre. This shopping centre has really weird floor numbering. The car park levels are all given letters, but as well as this, the other floors in the shopping centre are given letters, such as T for toilet level and S for shopping level. This makes the floor numbering in the lifts rather confusing.
Doors closing. Doors closing. Car park level B. Doors opening. Lift.
And now on to the glass lifts in the shopping centre.
Doors closing. Hill Valve. Doors opening.
And now to a nice second generation EcoDisc.
It's an EcoDisc. That looks awesome.
And now some more nice second generation EcoDiscs, but these ones have the more powerful third generation EcoDisc motor.
It's an EcoDisc with a more powerful third generation cone EcoDisc motor. This lift looks awesome. It's an EcoDisc in Debenhams. Looks good.
And now to the towers. These towers look really good, but the people who live here seem to be more security conscious than the average person. I waited outside of these towers for over an hour and I didn't manage to get in. I was trying to sneak in behind someone as they went in, but every single time they spotted me. These people seem to be more with it than the average person. So annoying. I so desperately wanted to get into this tower. Anyway, here is an Otis Gen 2 lift outside of the tower, but this lift's rather boring compared to the lifts inside the tower. And now on to Hemel Hempstead Hospital and to the first lift, which is an old dumbwaiter. I've been wanting to ride a dumbwaiter for ages. Now this time I couldn't because I had no one with me to press the button on the outside. But even though I wasn't able to ride this dumbwaiter, I was still able to put my camera in it and send my camera for a ride. When I was pressing the buttons outside of the dumbwaiter, one of the people that worked at this hospital spotted me and she was really cross and told me I was not allowed to play with hospital equipment. I wonder if I was actually riding a dumbwaiter, how cross would she have been? I wonder. Anyway, here's my video of the lift. And now to the next lifts, which are some vintage 1970s Platt Schindlers. But neither of these two lifts were working. So annoying. Anyway, now to the next lifts in the hospital, which are crappy generics. And now carrying on my journey to Luton. It's now Christmas Day, and in England not a single bus or train runs on Christmas Day. But if we look outside of the hotel where I stay, there are still several cars about. Quite a lot of people travel on Christmas Day, so why does not a single train or bus run? First, let's take a look at the guided busway. This guided busway is really modern, and guess what? Not a single bus runs today. No current departures. Really weird that nothing runs on Christmas Day in England. This guided busway looks really posh. Just look at its really nice LED lamppost. And now, as there's no buses about today, I can pretend to be my own virtual bus. No trespassing on the busway, £1,000 fine, and guess what? I don't care! And now, this particular busway stop is called Stanton Road, the name of the road next to the busway stop. And coming off of Stanton Road is Staveley Road. Seriously? Is this a reference to the old lamppost company Stanton and Staveley? Nah, probably not, probably just a coincidence. And now, let's carry on my Christmas Day walk. And now along to the hospital. As on Christmas Day, even though nothing runs, the hospital still has to run, and going into a hospital is like going from a weird Christmassy world back into the real world. And in the hospital there's nothing Christmassy to be seen. Hey, wait a moment, what was that? Christmas tree? In a hospital? Quick, hide it behind the desk. And there we are, just as I said, there's nothing Christmassy about in this hospital. And now to the first lifts. These are some generic hydraulic lifts, and only the lift on the left stops at the ground floor. Let's ride these lifts. And now to the next lift, which is a cheap version of a 90s clone M series. And now to the next lifts, which are some crappy generics. These lifts are really crap and boring. This part of the hospital was built in the 60s. There must have used to be a really nice 60s lift here, and they've replaced it with these pieces of crap. Oh dear, maybe an hour's escape from BENO. lifts, which are more crappy generics. And now to the next lift, which wasn't working. Typical crap generic. So now we go on to the next lift, and finally, at last, a good lift. This lift was built in the 30s, and this lift appears to be an old 1930s Otis. At the back of this lift, it says A&P Stevens. And also, when this lift is on the top floor and starts moving downwards, it takes ages to start up. It's like the hydraulics charging, but hydraulic only charges on the way up, not the way down. It's really weird. Maybe this is one of those really rare old hydraulic lifts where the hydraulic ram is upside down, like some old Victorian lifts like the London Hydraulic Power Company, but I don't know.
It's a 1930s goods lift. That's really epic and awesome. At the back it's A.P. Stevens.
And now, that is all of the lifts in the hospital. So now, carrying on my Christmas Day walk, and just look at all its houses. It's like almost every person in England is doing the exact same thing. Eating Christmas turkey, watching the Queen moaning on about some crappy thing in her Queen's speech. Anyway, carrying on my Christmas Day walk and along to a train station. Guess what? No trains today, not a single train to be seen. And next on my Christmas Day walk, I went along to the source of the River Lee Park and along to some towers. And yes, one of these towers, someone had not closed the door properly, and I managed to get in and ride the lifts. And the lifts are, oh no, not more generics. And here I am at the top of the tower, and looking out the window you get a nice view of the source of the River Lee Park. And now, going back along to my hotel, which is the Travelodge, and here is the lift in the hotel. It is a 90s standard, not really that interesting, but at least Standard did put some effort into the design of these 90s lifts, unlike their present day crap lifts.
Doors closing. Lift going up. Doors opening.
And here I am on the second floor. I wanted to go to the third floor and the lift wouldn't let me. Let's walk up the stairs. And here we are at the staff-only third floor. And next to this lift, oh look and do what it says on it. Staff only. In other words, that is a message to me that I just have to go through the door. And through this door there is the service lift, which is a posh eco-disc. I don't believe it! While everyone else has to ride the boring Stanner, cleaning staff get to ride a nice posh eco-disc, which is far faster than the Stanner. That is really weird.
It's a posh eco-disc service lift. That looks awesome. It's far faster than the Stanner.
Floor 0. Going up. Fourth floor. Going down.
And now, this little service area behind the staff-only door is rather spooky. Let's see what they keep on every floor.
Floor 0. Going up. Second floor. Third floor. Fourth floor. Going down.
It's now Boxing Day! And on Boxing Day, some more public transport is running, but it's still not running to its full extent. It's really weird over Christmas. Hardly any public transport runs, and still there's no buses on the guided busway. And now, on Boxing Day, I went for a countryside walk, and I walked up into the hills, and apparently there's some cows in these hills, but I wasn't able to find any of these cows. Also, I was hoping to find a moose ring, but I didn't manage to find any of these either. And now, after my countryside walk, when I was walking back into Dunstable, I found some really awesome vintage 1950s Revo lampposts in completely original condition. These look really nice. As well as these really nice, completely original ones, there was also some modernised ones which look really weird. That light is just far too big for that lamppost. And now continuing into Dunstable. And guess how many lifts I managed to ride in Dunstable? The answer, 0. Not a single lift. It's now the 27th, and finally, the busway's running. Finally, I was able to go ride some buses. This guided busway is really posh, but there's quite a few bits to it that don't make sense. Because in Cambridge, there's another guided busway, which is really fast. But this guided busway in Luton keeps having blips and bits to it, which slows the buses down. Several points it goes back to a normal road, then the buses slow all the way down to rejoin the busway again, which wastes time, because on guided busways, where there's junctions, they can't have guided busway junctions, it has to go back to a normal road. But some of these junctions don't even make sense. And also there's several other points on this guided busway where there's what appears to be unnecessary speed limits. It's rather weird really. And now, on the 27th, I went along to Luton Airport, and once again, there was no lifts to ride. I'm not doing very well this holiday for riding lifts. I've hardly been in any. And after Luton Airport, I went into Luton Town Centre, and the lifts here are mainly yucky generics, so I didn't even bother to ride these. But on the entranceway to a shopping centre, there was a nice Schindler MRL.
It's a Schindler 5400 MRL. This lift is located at the entrance to the mall.
And now, let's go into the 60s library and see what lifts there are there. Oh no, more generics! This design of generics just, awful. There's nothing inspiring about it whatsoever. It's now the 28th, the day when I was going back home from my holiday and stopping off en route at a relative's house. En route to a relative's house were some really nice lampposts, such as this vintage 1950s Stanton and Staveley. Just look at the nice, typical Stanton and Staveley detailing at the base of this lamppost. But unlike a typical Stanton and Staveley lamppost, where the detailing is just over a metre high, this lamppost is massive. The detailing is 2 metres high. It's like they've taken a standard Stanton and Staveley lamppost and stretched it so it's taller. It's really nice to see these big main road Stanton Stableys, but sadly the top of the lamppost has been horribly modernised. Also nearby these nice Stanton Stables were some other quite old lampposts. These ones appear to be built in the 60s or 70s. And now along to the next lamppost, which is a really nice 1930s lamppost. Well, at least I think it is, because just look at its detailing. This is the exact same detailing as DW Windsor used on their fake Victorian lampposts. But as far as I can tell, this is an original 30s lamppost. Well, at least I hope it is. I don't think it's a modern crappy fake lookalike Windsor. I think it is a 30s one, which means that Windsor copied this design of lamppost in their fake old lampposts. And now, here's a random bit of video of me and my cousins Thomas and David making up a random song on the piano. And that is the end of the video.